Hey everybody, Tony D. One last hot take. One more. I'm sorry. I was going to be done, but I just got one more in me. I have to do another hot take about censoring the internet. And it's happening again. It's always kind of happening. There's always a slow burn now because the people in these tech companies finally learn, well, if we slowly roll it out, nobody notices it too much. But the latest victim is guy by the name of David Icke, who's I'm not familiar with. I just saw it on a bunch of other YouTubers' channels. And he's a conspiracy theorist, apparently a very famous one. I'm sure I've seen his videos at some point. I'm not a huge conspiracy nut. I don't care what his message is. But the point is, does the man deserve to be disappeared from the internet? No. He'll probably end up on Bitchute, giving Bitchute even more supporters and taking them away from YouTube. But YouTube is foolish for doing this. You cannot censor people and have it work well at all, ever. Back in the 70s and 80s, when they censored people, liberals used to be against it. Southern California is supposedly a hotbed of liberalism and activism. Oh, we're so active. Oh, we march in the streets. Oh, darn that Donald Trump. That's not the way they acted in the 70s and 80s. If somebody was being censored in a newspaper, a book, a record, radio, television, people would get upset because it was usually conservatives doing the censoring. And it has been a great disappointment in my life to see that liberals do not care about the values of freedom of speech. They only cared that their freedom of speech was being censored, that their particular political views were being censored. If YouTube had been around back in that time, I know exactly the videos that would have been censored. They would have been all censored if they were hardcore hip-hop with a lot of cursing and a lot of misogyny in it. It would have been anything gay related. Every gay thing would have been censored from YouTube at that time because conservatives would have run it and they would have said all sorts of horrible things about gay people because they were extremely homophobic, and they would be pressured by Christian right fundamentalists to get that stuff off the platform. Instead, we have this weird inverse world where liberals now are the ones saying, oh my God, we can't have anyone not give the proper opinion that we approve of. That is censorship. Your list of approved authoritative voices in the news include the World Health Organization. And the CEO of YouTube actually went on TV and said anyone who contradicts the World Health Organization, boom, gone, demonetized, video gone, channel gone, or whatever they deem necessary by the wonderful judges at YouTube who, in my mind, aren't very good at their jobs. So, why? Why? Even now. I mean, this isn't like a thing that happened when the virus first hit. This happened like a week ago, less than a week ago. And this woman has to be aware that the World Health Organization told people, number one, the virus wasn't transmitted between humans. That was wrong. They trusted China, and that was wrong. Number two, and this is a big one, don't wear face masks. It'll make it worse. And that was repeated by news organizations all over the world, and you all should be ashamed of yourselves because that just flies in the face of common sense. People have been wearing masks during flu season for decades, and to say that and not question it at all because the World Health Organization and to actually tell people that it would make you worse, you ought to be ashamed of yourselves, and you should have a mea culpa moment on your various platforms, TV shows, whatever you have. There were plenty of people who said, wear a damn face mask. And that was common sense. And look, the YouTube doesn't control the world. And these people who run these platforms think they can do social engineering from their lofty positions. Newsflash, you can't. And in fact, you make it worse. And in fact, you're destroying your platform. Now that Icke, the conspiracy theorist, is off your platform, guess where all those people are going to go? Icke is probably going to have a thing on Bitchute, if he doesn't already have have one, and all his followers are going to move there. And that's thousands of followers. And now, and I get it, the numbers aren't that big for you now. You're more concerned about music videos and pop videos and all the stuff that's trendy and trending and celebrities. And right now, yeah, that's where all it is. And it'll be that way for a while as you slowly pick off the little creators like myself. I'm very tiny, so I'll be one of the last to go. But some of the bigger guys, you'll slowly knock them off one by one, and then one day you'll purge them all or put them in a corner where they can't possibly do any damage. And you'll be a internet network or whatever you want to call it. That'll be music videos and TV clips and news, and it'll be like a channel, and it'll be so great, except it won't. Except it'll be the same old crap that everyone has seen a million times. My parents are watching YouTube now, so if that's any indication, get ready for the big drop-off. You're going to lose millions and millions of dollars because you're going to lose eyes. People will get bored and they will move on. And guess where they're going to go? They're going to go to where all those crazy people are, where I'm sure somebody's talking about lizard people taking over, Alex Jones, all that crap. It's all going to go there. And you will be out. You will have presided over the demise of YouTube, you foolish, foolish person. Liberal people used to stand up to conservatives because they had the money and they usually own these companies, and they would say, no, it's not fair that you silence voices. Everybody deserves a voice. And they'd fight. They'd actually fight internally in companies to keep talent on that were saying controversial things and to publish controversial books and articles and even a few TV shows. No, it's gone completely, excuse me, low battery. It's gone completely in an opposite direction. Now it's the conservatives who honor free speech, and it's the liberals who hate it. They hate anyone. They've decided a long time ago to abandon their principles. Now it's just, we have to win. We have to win by any means necessary. It's okay to lie. It's okay to make up things about conservatives. It's okay to shaft them. They're bad people, and therefore we can do, it's all fair in love and war. They would do the same thing to us. They're such horrible people. We should just demonize them and kick them away, and either they fall in line or they're gone. How's that strategy working out for you? Well, you've got so much money, it'll work for a while. But at this point, I believe that most people I talk to think Twitter is a cesspool. Most people I know are just kind of getting into YouTube, but there's so many other channels. You're just going to be another network. And that does not bode well, especially when you're kind of dependent on home-brewed creators. When you don't have those eyes, bye-bye. Because no one's going to want to put up with your wacky, continually changing terms of service and all that kind of stuff. And once Bitchute gets to the point where they're fully funded and they don't need to charge people to get better service or whatever, you're going to be in trouble. And there are plenty other platforms brewing. There's Minds, there's Bitchute, there's Gab is going the Twitter route, Parler also. I mean, all these platforms are out there, and they have people on them, and they're free speech places. You could say whatever the hell you want there. So I don't know what you guys expect, and censorship always comes back to bite you in the ass. If you truly believe in a left-leaning words and these groups, and your commie underneath, or even if you're just a neo-lib, there's all sorts of things you believe that are going to be censored from the internet when the conservatives finally buy your ass out, and they will. The wheel turns, and somebody's going to roll in with tons of money, and he's probably going to be a Republican, and he's probably not going to care about your wacky views. He's just going to do the math and say, oh yeah, this has gone out of vogue. Why don't you just cut all these people off the platform? What? Oh, what? You're going to cut off all our left-leaning friends? But nothing. I run this place now, so cut them off. Let's move forward. That's what's going to happen. That's what used to happen. Back in the day when a conservative would come in and buy up a place, he'd just fire everybody, buy up a newspaper, and fire all the liberals. And then suddenly the tone of the newspaper would change, and then you'll be stuck with the opposite problem. Then you'll be back fighting in the streets and trying to get your voice back. But it'll be your fault because you will have built the prison that they put you into. You will have built the surveillance apparatus, you know? And it's so stupid to want more surveillance, more censorship. You look at the stuff Snowden said about the NSA. The NSA, oh, it's so responsible. Don't worry, we're very responsible. There's a procedure to look at. We don't just look at anything. Meanwhile, the NSA guys were looking up their girlfriends and their wives and people they didn't like. Of course they did. Of course they did, because they had the power and nobody checked on them. My friend, I had a friend, I'm not going to tell you who it is, but he was in, let's say he was in law enforcement, and he had some amount of access in that area. And he ran checks on girlfriends. He ran check on me. He ran a check on a few of our friends just to see, you know, their backgrounds and stuff. He just did it for fun, but he shouldn't have done it. I mean, now they have a law against it, but good luck prosecuting anybody at his level. You cannot, all this stuff comes back to bite you. It always comes back. In a couple of years, when, you know, let's say 5-6 years down the road, Donald Trump's out of office. Being woke and lefty, well, that's gone all out of vogue. Nobody cares about that crap anymore. Everybody in Hollywood has turned a blind eye to that, because now we've turned a corner. Now it's cool to be anti-woke. It's cool to be more conservative and more traditional. In fact, Kanye West led the charge with his album praising Jesus, and then there was a movie, and it's a mega hit, and everybody in Hollywood is like scrambling to do these more traditional narratives about family and what's going to happen. Oh, a lot of people will just be out in the cold. A lot of their pitches, forget it. Even if they have something good, goodbye. You know, and all the stuff that you wanted to censor. Well, guess what? Now that censorship apparatus has been turned around against you. Now stuff about, I mean, look, it's already happened to some extent. YouTube already censored some gay stuff. Stuff that, you know, oh, we thought we had allies at YouTube. Well, you don't have allies when it's money. So don't fool yourself. Don't support these people, because at the end of the day, it's all about money. And when the big dog walks into the room and says, "Hi, I'm from Saudi Arabia. I'd like to buy YouTube. What's it, $1 trillion? Yeah, we got that." Boom. And suddenly YouTube becomes this super traditional thing. And in fact, you know, it slowly sort of turns towards the values of its new owners. And it gets away from certain things. Now, I have some Saudi fans out there. How you doing, guys? They barely speak English, but they'll stop by and make a comment. I reviewed a couple Saudi movies. You know, I'm sure they could tell you firsthand. I mean, the kingdom has different values, and they're a monarchy. So if they decide to turn the screws on you, and you put out a documentary about, I don't know, somebody in the kingdom, well, it might not get on YouTube anytime soon. You might not see the trailer on YouTube. It might be all disappeared. And then you'll be crying, but I had this great documentary about the Khashoggi murder, and that was wrong. Why? Why am I being censored? You're being censored, you moron, because you supported censorship prior to this. You supported censorship. You helped build the apparatus that censors you downstream. You have to think downstreams. The Founding Fathers thought through the Constitution, okay? They didn't just write it in an hour and say, yeah, that's pretty good. These guys were enlightened. They read books. They sat around and talked, and they thought things, and they thought them through over and over again. They weren't stupid. They didn't just pick freedom of speech out of the air. There's a reason why it's First Amendment. The First Amendment. If you can't speak freely, none of the other amendments matter. None of the other rights matter. None of them. Take away freedom of speech, the rest of them go. Because you could lie to get rid of the other ones. You can lie to make the other ones superfluous. Right? You could change the definition of words. Did you change the definition of words? No. But you did. But you did. You changed the definition of guns so you could ban all the guns. No, I didn't. And you can't say any different because freedom of speech isn't a thing. That's the problem. So you have to support freedom of speech. It's everything. Freedom of speech is everything. So this conspiracy theorist being kicked off of YouTube is wrong. It's censorship. It's a form of censorship. I get it. It's a private company. But if you're going to be a private company, you can't be protected by the government. And they are protected because they pretend to be a platform, but they act like a publisher. Publishers cannot edit unless it's illegal. He did not say anything illegal, to my knowledge. Conspiracy theorists don't say illegal things. You're just afraid. This is something that I have no doubt that people on high in the bureaucratic operations in Washington said this, have put pressure on you. But also, too, this is partly political. And when you get involved in censorship and politics like this, this is what you end up. You end up looking like a-holes. You look like morons. You're supporting the Chinese government. And the things they say about their own, what is clearly a mistake or an attack against the U.S. government. Imagine, if you will, Susan, CEO of YouTube, that the United States goes to war against China within the next year. A full-blown war. Millions of people are killed, and it's clear, clear at the start of that war, the Chinese government not only created this virus, but released it on purpose on our population. What are you going to say then? How are you going to justify your actions at this time? And what if the entire WHO thing, I mean, it's pretty much come to light, but what if there's even more proof? There's more proof that this guy was a total stooge for the Chinese, that he was accepting bribes, that he got emails that said, make sure you tell them not to put masks on. What are you going to say then? Are you going to stand there and go, well, I mean, this is a serious thing. By repeating these lies, you've added to the deaths of this virus. There's just no other way around it. I was there telling people, no, you should probably put a mask on, man. I mean, but I didn't have a voice. And you decided my voice wasn't authoritative. And I was right. So my videos clearly should have went viral. So imagine if my video did go viral. Imagine if my video did go viral and people bought masks and masked up. And yeah, maybe there was a slight shortage of masks for about, 10 seconds before Hanes Underwear started making them, retooled to make them. I think people would have been okay. There's still masks in CVS. They didn't disappear. They didn't disappear when I bought them. They didn't disappear the entire time. I didn't go in and find no mask. People are making masks. It's easy to make a mask. It's not rocket science to put on a bandana. Okay, I'm getting ranty, so I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks for tuning in. This is the last video. I'm done. I'm going to do other things. I'm going to write. And tomorrow, more videos. See you next time. Check out my books on Amazon.